Brandon Miller, 24 years old, still chasing his signature win. Everyone came to Eugene to watch Cooper Lutkenhaus, 17 years old, unbeaten all season, the next face of American track. But with 150 meters left, something nobody predicted started to happen. Let's find out. Going into the Prefontaine Classic, Cooper Lutkenhaus had not lost an 800-meter race outdoors all year. He was 17 years old, a junior at Northwest High School in Justin, Texas, and already the biggest name in American middle distance running. In March, he traveled to Torun, Poland, and won the 800 meters at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in 1:44.24, beating Belgium's Elliot Creston by 0.14 of a second. That made him the youngest individual world champion in the history of track and field, indoors or outdoors, at 17 years and 93 days old. He did not sneak into that final either. Lutkenhaus ran through a first-round heat, then a tough semifinal the night before, clocking 1:44.29 to reach the medal race. In the final itself, he moved through the pack at every checkpoint and took the lead for good on the third and final lap, refusing to let the race come down to a pure sprint. He carried that momentum straight into the outdoor season. On June 7th, Lutkenhaus won his Diamond League debut in Stockholm, running 1:42.70 to beat a field that included 2023 world champion Marco Arop. That victory made him the youngest athlete ever to win a Diamond League race at any distance since the series began in 2010. 3 days later, in Oslo, he faced the biggest test of his career. Emmanuel Wanyonyi of Kenya, the reigning Olympic and world champion, lined up right beside him. Lutkenhaus took the lead with 200 meters to go and held off a furious late charge from Wanyonyi, diving across the line to win by 1/100th of a second. His time was 1:42.08, a personal best, the world lead for 2026, and the third fastest time in American history, behind only Bryce Hoppel and Josh Hoey. By the time he arrived in Eugene, Lutkenhaus was 6 for 6 in 800-meter finals as a professional. Nobody in the field could say they had beaten him outdoors this year. While Lutkenhaus grabbed headlines, Brandon Miller was quietly building one of the best seasons of his career. Miller is 24 years old, from St. Louis, Missouri, and a member of the Brooks Beast Track Club. He competed at the 2024 Paris Olympics, reaching the semifinal round of the 800 meters before missing out on a spot in the final. Miller's path to that Olympic team was not easy either. Running for Texas A&M, he won the NCAA Indoor 800-meter title and set the American collegiate record of 1:45.24 before turning professional. At the 2024 Olympic trials, he ran a personal best of 1:43.73 in the semifinal, then held on for third place in the final to punch his ticket to Paris. In 2025, Miller ran a personal best of 1:43.14 at the USATF Outdoor Championships, finishing 5th and missing the World Championships team by roughly half a second. It was a tough result, but it proved his speed was real. Miller opened his 2026 season strong. In May, he won the LA Track Fest at UCLA's Drake Stadium in 1:44.26, holding off Great Britain's Josh Kerr and Jake Whiteman in front of a home crowd. Then, on June 14th, he won the USATF LA Grand Prix in a season-best 1:43.94, timing a perfectly placed move to pass Kerr off the final turn. Donavan Brazier finished third in that race. 2 wins in 2 months, both against strong fields, both on American soil. Miller was rounding into the best form of his career, and almost nobody outside the sport was paying attention. The 2026 Prefontaine Classic took place on July 3 at Hayward Field, the 9th stop on the Diamond League calendar. The men's 800 meters brought together one of the deepest fields of the year. Donavan Brazier, the 2019 world champion, was in the race. So was Bryce Hoppel, the American record holder at 1:41.67, set at the 2024 Paris Olympics. So was Elliot Creston, the reigning world indoor silver medalist behind Lutkenhaus himself in Torun. Expectations were sky high going into the night, with fans packing Hayward Field hoping to see history at multiple distances. 11 men lined up for the 800 meters, one of the deepest fields assembled anywhere in the world this season. But the question everyone actually wanted answered was simpler than any record chase. Could anyone beat Cooper Lutkenhaus outdoors? Or would Brandon Miller's quiet season finally get the spotlight it deserved? With the USATF Outdoor Championships and the first ever World Athletics Ultimate Championships still ahead this year, every result in Eugene carried extra weight for both men. The pacemaker, Lloyd Freilet, went out too fast, reaching 400 meters in 49.88 seconds, well ahead of the wavelight target. Nobody wanted to chase that pace. Lutkenhaus, sitting up front, let Freilet go and settled into his own rhythm, passing 400 meters in 51.01 seconds. Brandon Miller took a completely different path through the race. He got boxed in early on the rail, with runners closing in around him, and found himself pushed all the way to the back of the field. With 350 meters to go, he was in 9th place, dead last in an 11-man race. Lutkenhaus still led at the bell, but his rhythm had changed. He passed 600 meters in 1:18.06, more than a second slower than the pace that carried him to his personal best in Oslo. The finishing kick that beat an Olympic champion just 3 weeks earlier simply was not showing up. Miller stayed calm anyway. Coming off the back straight, still buried in 9th, he began threading through traffic, easing past one runner and then another without wasting a single stride. By the time the field hit the final bend, Miller had already climbed from 9th to the front pack, setting up the move that would decide the race. With 150 meters to go, he swung wide off the final turn and accelerated past the tiring leader in one clean motion. Lutkenhaus tried to respond on the outside, but Miller was already gone. Down the home straight, Miller pulled clear. He crossed the line in 1:43.68, a season best, closing his final 200 meters in 25.39 seconds. Lutkenhaus held on for second in 1:44.62, closing in 26.56 seconds, more than a second slower than his usual finish. Donavan Brazier took third in 1:44.86. Bryce Hoppel finished fourth in 1:45.05. Elliot Creston crossed fifth in 1:45.11. It was Lutkenhaus's first 800-meter loss of the outdoor season, and his first loss to an American outdoors since the 2025 USATF Outdoor Championships, when Brazier beat him in the final. The Hayward Field crowd had come expecting to watch a teenager make history again. Instead, they watched a 24-year-old journeyman finally cash in on years of near misses. The roar that greeted Miller at the line was as much shock as celebration, a reminder that even the most dominant streaks in track and field only last until somebody else has the better night. Miller explained his tactics simply. He had been shoved toward the back early and had to fight through nearly the entire field, but he trusted his plan the whole way. "Stay patient, and I was able to pick my spots," he said afterward. He also spoke about what the win meant for his season. "I always come out here to win," Miller told reporters, crediting the confidence he has built race after race in 2026.